Hey, welcome back to 510 Prospecting. We're out here in Southern Oregon on a very special creek. This area is loaded with bedrock and is still producing pickers and nuggets and even some fine stuff. And so where we're at, you can see lots of bedrock up this way, down here. This is a historic mining area and there's been a lot of activity here. This area is actually still producing gold, which is shedding off these mountains. You can see over here, this is just a big valley over here, and same with this side over here. This creek is somewhat seasonal, and so while we're in the middle of a very, very wet spring, this creek is still very workable. And so that's one of the reasons why we're here today. There's a lot of area to work, and there's been some really good gold found here. So stay tuned, wish us luck, and we'll be back in a bit. Here's a bunch of tailings from the old timers working this area. Whole stack of rocks right through there. You can see here there's two distinct tailings rows here. There's one here, there's another one right back here. And the creek is on the back side there, so when they came in, they worked this entire valley all the way up, all the way down. Pretty impressive. All right, here's a great example. Running all the way up here, down here. These are all tailings from that creek. Perfect, hand stacked here. Here's a look at those. Old timers took them out of the creek, brought them up here, stacked them perfectly. There's this right here. And also right behind us is another berm that runs all the way up. So they moved a ton of material. Alright, here's a look at the creek, standing on some bedrock. Bedrock here. We're just in a bit of a valley. And in fact, this bedrock goes all the way up just this whole mountainside here. So right down here. And then in fact, if we look on the other side, bam, more bedrock here. So bedrock channel, we are on the bottom. If you have a dredge, you can do very well here. We don't have a dredge, we just have a highbanker. And so we're working in the banks trying to catch some of that material that's still floating down. All right, here's some fairly recent workings, and we're kind of doing the same thing here. We're digging into these banks. This is bedrock here, and it goes up. So we're trying to catch the material floating down. Here's our setup. We got the highbanker here. Punching a hole right here. And in fact, we've pulled some chunky bits of gold out of here, and so we're gonna sample this a bit more. We got the dream mat running in here today, and I got the pump running back over here. We're good to go. Here's the snuffered up from our first clean out. After this, it looked like the gold kind of dried up a bit, so we're gonna go ahead and do our second clean out. Started that right now. See what that looks like. Based on that, it'll tell us if we should keep working here or if we should find some more ground. so we cleared this part out. Started digging down here. Did our clean out. And we got a bunch of finds. And while that's good, we're looking for something a little bit more chunky. So we're continuing to work this area. We got some of the material down, sloughed down in this area here. So we're gonna take this, front of the box. Box is clean, nothing in it right now. So we'll get going. Alright, it is the next day. We did one more clean out last night, and we got a little bit more small flower flood gold. A couple little chunky bits in there, but nothing too big. So we keep continuing to work this area here right along the creek side. Headed up this way. We've spot checked around the area, up the creek, down the creek, and so far we're finding little flakes and pokers here and there, but nothing bigger than that, so we'll keep searching. Anyway, we got 4 more buckets right here. We're just running those right now, and then we'll clean up and see what we get. We are wrapping up for the day. We have 4 more buckets to run here, and then we've been cleaning this area off, and it's getting a little bit of a signal down here. We'll see if that turns up to be anything. It's bouncing back and forth between iron and non-ferrous, so hopefully that's something. But other than that, we'll get these buckets around. Sluice is over here. Everything's running good. Alright, we got everything cleaned up. Here's our tailings. Here's the cons. We'll get those brought home. We'll clean those up. Show you that in a bit. And that's it. We're headed home. See you back there in a bit.
Several months later.
Alright, and here are the cons from Southern Oregon. And we'll get these classified down and we'll pan out the finds. Here's everything classified down. He's just going through the last bit of the ultrafines, and then we'll get that weighed up. Here's a look at the gold dried up. All right, we'll go ahead and weigh it up. And we were hoping for a little bit better than that, but next time we go back there, we'll do a little bit more prospecting up and down the creek, and then get down a little further in the bedrock. All right, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, share, and follow our Instagram at 510prospecting, and we'll see you on the next one.